Did you know that some of the most iconic black celebrities have lived well into their 90s? From the musical genius of Quincy Jones to the calypso legend Harry Belafonte, these remarkable individuals continue to inspire. In this video, we're celebrating 25 extraordinary black celebrities, all between the ages of 90 and 100, whose incredible lives and legacies remind us of their lasting impact on the world. Leontine Price. Leontine Price, born on February 10, 1927, is 97 years old and remains one of the most celebrated voices in opera history. Her soaring soprano voice broke barriers and redefined what was possible for black artists in a field that had long been dominated by exclusion and tradition. Born and raised in Laurel, Mississippi, Leontine grew up far from the grandeur of the opera houses that would later define her career. Music was an integral part of her upbringing. Her mother sang in the church choir, and her father played the tuba, creating a household that fostered her early love for music. Recognizing her extraordinary talent, her family fully supported her ambitions, helping her dream beyond the constraints of the segregated South. Leontine's path to greatness began at the Juilliard School in New York City, where she studied under some of the best vocal coaches of her time. It was here that her powerful and distinct voice flourished, setting the stage for a remarkable career. In the 1950s, she gained attention in Porgy and Bess, performing in venues across the globe and earning acclaim for her powerful presence and vocal prowess. Her big break came in 1961 when she made her debut at the Metropolitan Opera in New York, becoming one of the first black artists to perform on its prestigious stage. From there, her career skyrocketed. Her portrayals of iconic roles in Aida, Il Trovatore, and Madame Butterfly solidified her status as a legend in the opera world. Critics described her voice as warm, rich, and of extraordinary beauty, with the ability to move audiences to tears. Even after retiring from full opera performances, Leontine continued to captivate audiences in concerts and recitals. Her influence extended beyond music, as she became a symbol of excellence and perseverance for generations of black artists. Throughout her career, she received countless honors, including numerous Grammy Awards, the Presidential Medal of Freedom, and the National Medal of Arts. Sidney Poitier. Sidney Poitier was not just a groundbreaking actor, he was a trailblazer who forever changed how black men were portrayed in Hollywood. Before his rise to fame, black actors were often relegated to stereotypical and one-dimensional roles, but Sidney refused to accept these limitations. His talent and resolve shattered these barriers, and in 1964, he made history by becoming the first black man to win the Academy Award for Best Actor. His remarkable win for his role in Lilies of the Field opened doors for generations of black actors and served as a pivotal moment in the fight for racial equality in film. Sidney's journey to success was far from easy. Born on February 20, 1927, in Miami, Florida, he spent his early years in the Bahamas, where his family struggled financially. At the age of 15, Sidney moved to New York City in search of a better life. He worked as a dishwasher to support himself, but it was there, in the bustling streets of New York, that he discovered his passion for acting after attending a play. Inspired, he decided to pursue a career in theater and film. However, his early attempts at acting were met with rejection. Casting directors initially dismissed him because of his thick Bahamian accent, but Sidney was undeterred. He immersed himself in American culture, listening to radio broadcasts and practicing his speech until he had mastered a more neutral accent. His persistence paid off, and he soon became known for his refined, dignified performances, characterized by elegance and emotional depth. In 1958, Sidney Poitier starred in The Defiant Ones, a revolutionary film that tackled issues of racial tension, earning him widespread recognition. he continued to break new ground with performances in films like A Raisin in the Sun and Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. In these films, Poitier portrayed characters that were intelligent, complex, and dignified, an antidote to the typical portrayals of black men in Hollywood at the time. One of Sidney's most iconic roles came in 1967, when he starred in the Heat of the Night as Virgil Tibbs, a black detective. The film was a landmark in American cinema, featuring a pivotal moment in which Tibbs, slapped by a white man, slaps him back in a bold act of defiance against racial discrimination. Sidney Poitier passed away on January 6, 2022, at the age of 94, leaving behind a legacy of excellence, courage, and transformative change. His career not only redefined the role of black actors in Hollywood, but also helped to shape the cultural landscape, paving the way for countless artists who followed in his footsteps. Diahann Carroll. Diahann Carroll, born on July 17, 1935, made an unforgettable impact on Hollywood and paved the way for future generations of black actresses. Rising to fame during a time when opportunities for black women in the entertainment industry were limited, Carroll broke barriers with her immense talent and unyielding determination. Raised in Harlem, New York, Carroll showed an early passion for the arts, particularly singing. At just 18 years old, she won Chance of a Lifetime, a popular talent show, which launched her into the world of entertainment and set the stage for her remarkable career. This victory opened doors for her, leading to roles in Broadway shows that introduced her to wider audiences. Over the years, Carroll continued to shine as an actress and singer, becoming one of the first black women to star in a primetime television series. She passed away on October 4, 2019, leaving behind a legacy of breaking boundaries and inspiring others in the entertainment world. Dorothy Height. Dorothy Height's journey began in Richmond, Virginia, on March 24, 1912. From a young age, she stood out for her deep commitment to helping others. Her childhood was shaped by a drive to make the world more just, a mission that grew stronger as she pursued her studies in college and later in social work. Her goal was always clear: to create a world where all people were treated equally, regardless of race or gender. In the 1930s, she joined the National Council of Negro Women, never imagining that she would eventually lead the organization for over 40 years, turning it into one of the most powerful voices for civil rights and women's rights in the country. Height's work throughout her life focused on the intersection of race and gender. During a time when women were often sidelined in the civil rights movement, she fought relentlessly to ensure that women had a prominent voice. At the 1963 March on Washington, she stood alongside Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. and other leading figures as one of the few women in leadership roles. Her advocacy was centered around issues that deeply affected black women, including healthcare, education, and economic opportunity. But she wasn't just about protesting. She was about creating lasting policies that would bring about real change. Over the course of her lifetime, Height received numerous accolades, including the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Yet for her, the true reward was the profound impact she had on the lives of those around her. When she passed away on April 20, 2010, at the age of 98, her legacy as a tireless champion for justice and equality was already firmly etched in history. Marian Anderson. Marian Anderson is a name that resonates with both history and inspiration. Born in 1897, she spent her life breaking barriers as a contralto singer, with a voice that was unparalleled in her time. Her achievements went beyond fame. They were about making history for black artists and paving the way for future generations. Growing up in Philadelphia, Marian's extraordinary talent was evident from a young age. Despite the challenges of racial discrimination, her community rallied behind her, supporting her dream of pursuing music, a dream that seemed nearly impossible in an era where black artists faced significant barriers. In her 20s, Marian's voice began to garner serious attention. By the 1930s, She was touring Europe, earning international acclaim, though her own country was slow to embrace her due to racial prejudice. Her defining moment came in 1939 when the Daughters of the American Revolution, DAR, barred her from performing at Constitution Hall in Washington, D.C. because of her race. In response, First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt and other influential figures rallied to her side, leading to Anderson's historic concert on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. More than 75,000 people attended the performance, which was also broadcast nationwide, sending a powerful message of equality and unity. In 1955, Marian Anderson became the first black singer to perform at the Metropolitan Opera in New York City. This was a groundbreaking achievement, not just for Anderson, but for all black performers in classical music. Her rich, warm voice captivated audiences worldwide, and her very presence helped dismantle racial barriers in the arts. Even after retiring from performing, Marian Anderson continued to inspire. She was deeply involved in the civil rights movement and received numerous accolades throughout her life, including the Presidential Medal of Freedom and a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. Marian Anderson lived to the age of 96, leaving behind a legacy that continues to influence and inspire generations. Eubie Blake. Eubie Blake was a trailblazing musician and composer whose contributions helped shape the landscape of American music. Born on February 7, 1887, in Baltimore, Maryland, Blake developed a love for music early on, starting to play the piano at just 4 years old. His passion for music led him to create a distinctive style that would influence generations to come. In 1915, Blake teamed up with lyricist Noble Sissle to create Shuffle Along, a revolutionary musical that showcased black talent on Broadway. This production was groundbreaking as it brought African-American culture into the spotlight, breaking down racial barriers in the entertainment world. Blake's music, a blend of ragtime, jazz, and popular tunes, was full of energy and infectious rhythms. Eubie Blake's legacy continues to resonate, and though he passed away in July of this year, his impact on music and Broadway remains indelible. Quincy Jones. Quincy Jones is a true icon in music history, with a career that spans decades of groundbreaking achievements. Born on March 14, 1933, he's recently passed away on November 3, 2024, at 91 years old and still celebrated as a legend. Quincy's passion for music started early, fueled by his love for jazz. He mastered multiple instruments but ultimately made his mark as a producer and composer. In the 1950s, he worked alongside legendary jazz musicians like Dizzy Gillespie, but his career truly soared when he began collaborating with pop and R&B artists in the 1960s and beyond. As a producer, Quincy was behind some of the biggest hits in music history. He played a key role in Michael Jackson's rise to superstardom, producing the iconic albums Off the Wall, Thriller, and Bad. Together, these albums sold hundreds of millions of copies, with Thriller holding the title of the best-selling album of all time. With 28 Grammy Awards to his name, Quincy is among the most awarded artists in history. Beyond his musical genius, he shattered barriers for black artists and championed diversity in the music industry, leaving a legacy that goes far beyond the notes he composed. Harry Belafonte. Harry Belafonte was more than just a talented singer. He was a powerful catalyst for change. Born on March 1, 1927, his influence spanned music, film, and civil rights activism. In the 1950s, Belafonte introduced calypso music to American audiences, bringing the vibrant sounds of the Caribbean into the mainstream. His 1956 album Calypso was a groundbreaking success, becoming the first album by a solo artist to sell over 1 million copies. Songs like Day-O, the Banana Boat song, became timeless global hits. But Harry's impact wasn't limited to music. He also broke new ground for black actors in Hollywood, taking on roles in films like Carmen Jones and Island in the Sun. He was determined to challenge racial stereotypes, selecting roles that depicted black characters as strong, intelligent, and multidimensional. A lifelong friend of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Belafonte was deeply involved in the civil rights movement. He helped raise funds, marched alongside activists, and remained dedicated to fighting for justice throughout his life. Harry Belafonte passed away at the age of 96 on April 25, 2023, leaving behind a legacy that continues to inspire as both an artist and a fierce advocate for change. Katherine Johnson. Katherine Johnson was a pioneering mathematician whose calculations were crucial to the success of NASA's space missions. Living to the age of 101, her remarkable work helped launch astronauts into space, making her not just a hero in math, but a trailblazer in American history. Growing up in West Virginia, Katherine's love for math was evident from a young age. By the time she was just 10 years old, she was already in high school, an impressive feat, especially for a young black girl in the 1920s. Recognizing her exceptional talent, her parents ensured she received the best education possible, despite the limited opportunities available to her. Throughout her career, Katherine faced many obstacles due to her race and gender, but she never let those barriers stop her. Her groundbreaking contributions included her work on the Apollo missions, notably the Apollo 11 flight that put a man on the moon. In 2015, she was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom, finally receiving the recognition she so richly deserved. Katherine Johnson passed away on February 24, 2020, but her legacy continues to inspire generations of mathematicians, scientists, and dreamers. Belva Davis. Belva Davis, born on October 13, 1932, is a name synonymous with strength, perseverance, and groundbreaking achievement in journalism. At 92, she is remembered as the first black female television reporter on the West Coast, a trailblazer who shattered barriers and paved the way for future generations of journalists. Her path to success was far from easy. Born in Louisiana and raised in poverty, Belva faced challenges that could have easily held her back. But her determination to tell important stories drove her forward, eventually taking her to California, where she began her career in media. In the early 1960s, Belva made history when she was hired by KPIX-TV in San Francisco. At a time when racial tensions were high and opportunities for black women in media were scarce, she became a trusted voice, covering stories that mattered most to the community. Belva didn't just report the news. She gave a voice to the voiceless, shining a light on the lives of marginalized people. Her reporting spanned pivotal moments in history, including the Civil Rights Movement, the Vietnam War protests, and the rise of the Black Panther Party. Her work earned her numerous awards and, more importantly, the trust and respect of her audience. Lena Horne. Lena Horne's life was a powerful and graceful melody that defied the barriers of racism and discrimination. Born on June 30, 1917, in Brooklyn, New York, she grew up surrounded by jazz, glamour, and the world of showbiz, with a family that supported and nurtured her talents. By the time she was 16, Horne had already begun performing at the famous Cotton Club in Harlem, a venue that helped launch the careers of many black artists. Her sultry voice and captivating stage presence quickly set her apart, and it wasn't long before Hollywood took notice. In the 1940s, Horne made history by signing with MGM, becoming one of the first black actresses to secure a long-term contract with a major studio. Her journey, however, was far from smooth. Despite her undeniable talent, she was often relegated to roles that kept her separated from white actors, with scenes sometimes edited out for Southern audiences. Yet she still managed to shine, particularly in films like Cabin in the Sky and Stormy Weather, where her performances became iconic. But Horne's influence went beyond her singing and acting. She was a fierce advocate for civil rights, refusing to perform for segregated audiences and actively supporting the fight for equality. She marched alongside Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and fought for anti-lynching laws. Lena Horne passed away in 2010 due to heart failure, leaving behind a legacy that combined extraordinary talent with deep activism. Earl Cameron. Earl Cameron, born in Bermuda in 1917, had a remarkable journey that spanned over a century. Moving to the United Kingdom in the 1930s, he entered an industry where roles for black actors were scarce and even fewer were respectful or free of stereotypes. Cameron's big break came in 1951 with Pool of London, where he became one of the first black actors to play a significant role in British cinema. His character wasn't just a side note. He had a genuine love interest with a white woman, which was groundbreaking for the time. This bold defiance against racial stereotypes made Cameron a beacon of hope for black actors everywhere. But Cameron's career didn't stop there. Over the next 70 years, he appeared in countless films, TV shows, and theater productions. From Thunderball, where he starred alongside Sean Connery, to The Interpreter with Nicole Kidman, Cameron showcased a versatility that kept him relevant across generations. He even appeared in the 2006 film The Queen, proving that age was no barrier to his passion for acting. What truly set Cameron apart was his ability to evolve, staying a respected figure in the film industry throughout his life. Known for his elegance both on and off the screen, he was knighted by Queen Elizabeth II in 2009, a testament to his pioneering impact. Despite such accolades, Cameron remained humble, always advocating for greater opportunities for black actors. He dreamed of a world where one's skin color didn't determine their chances in life. Earl Cameron passed away in 2020 at the age of 102, leaving behind a legacy of groundbreaking achievements and unwavering dedication to his craft. Bill Cobbs. Bill Cobbs was a talented actor with a career that spanned decades. Born on June 16, 1934, in Cleveland, Ohio, he developed a love for performance early on. Before diving into acting, Cobbs served in the U.S. Air Force, where he gained valuable life experiences that would later inform his acting. After his service, Cobbs decided to pursue acting full-time, beginning his career in the early 1970s. Over the years, he built an impressive resume with over 200 roles in films and television. Some of his most memorable appearances include his role as the wise old man in Night at the Museum and his work in The Hudsucker Proxy, where he showcased his incredible versatility. Bill Cobbs lived a full and rich life, passing away in 2023 at the age of 89, leaving behind a legacy of extraordinary performances. James Earl Jones. James Earl Jones passed away in 2024 at the age of 93, leaving behind a legacy marked by one of the most iconic voices in entertainment. His deep, resonant voice became instantly recognizable, bringing life to some of the most unforgettable characters in film history. While he's best known for voicing Darth Vader in Star Wars, Jones's career spanned over 6 decades, encompassing theater, film, and television. As a child, he struggled with a severe stutter and often avoided speaking. But with the encouragement of a high school teacher, he overcame this challenge and discovered his passion for acting, an experience that shaped his resilience and determination. Jones's theater career took off with his powerful portrayal of Othello, showcasing his exceptional range and talent. His performances earned him multiple awards, including Tony Awards, as he brought deep emotion and complexity to each role. While his face might not have been as well known as his voice, his influence on the industry was immeasurable. In addition to Star Wars, Jones' unforgettable voice graced roles in films like The Lion King, where he voiced Mufasa, and Field of Dreams, further cementing his place in cinematic history. Clarence Avant. Clarence Avant may not be a household name, but his impact can be felt throughout music, film, and politics. Born on February 25, 1931, Avant earned the title the Godfather of Black Music. Though he never sang or acted, he was behind the scenes, helping shape the careers of icons like Quincy Jones and Bill Withers. His mentorship and vast network played a key role in the success of some of the most iconic music of the past century. Avant's influence went far beyond music. He was a true visionary who understood the power of opportunity. In the 1970s, he purchased KBFM, the first black-owned radio station in Los Angeles, to amplify the voices of black artists and culture. His work wasn't driven by profit alone. He was determined to create lasting change and give back to his community. When Barack Obama sought his help during his presidential campaign, Avant stepped up without hesitation, a testament to his commitment to social progress. Clarence Avant passed away on August 13, 2023, at 92, leaving behind a legacy that touched countless lives and industries. Ruby Dee. Ruby Dee's legacy is firmly rooted in both her powerful acting and her unwavering commitment to civil rights. Born on October 27, 1922, in Cleveland, Ohio, Ruby grew up during a time of great social change. Her love for acting began as a teenager, leading her to study at Hunter College. Ruby's career took off in the 1940s, quickly establishing her as a standout talent in both film and theater. Some of her most memorable roles include portraying Ruth Younger in A Raisin in the Sun, both on stage and in the film adaptation, a character that beautifully captured the hopes and challenges of black families in America. She also starred in Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing, a powerful film that confronted racial tensions head-on. Dee's acting career unfolded alongside key moments in American history, and she brought each role to life with a unique blend of grace and intensity. Beyond her artistry, Ruby was deeply committed to activism. Alongside her husband, Ossie Davis, she was a prominent figure in the civil rights movement. The couple was close friends with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X, and they actively participated in rallies, organized events, and fought for justice. Ruby and Ossie became powerful symbols of black love, talent, and activism, embodying values that went far beyond Hollywood. Ruby Dee passed away on June 11, 2014, at the age of 91, leaving behind a remarkable legacy in both entertainment and social change. Dick Gregory. Dick Gregory was more than just a comedian. He was a revolutionary voice. Born on October 12, 1932, in St. Louis, Missouri, Gregory used humor not just to entertain but to challenge and inspire. He broke into the comedy scene in the 1960s and quickly gained recognition for his fearless approach to addressing race, inequality, and injustice, using sharp wit to make people both laugh and think. His material wasn't always easy, especially in an era when black comedians were seldom seen on mainstream stages, particularly when discussing racial issues. But Gregory wasn't afraid to push boundaries. His big break came in 1961 when he performed at the Playboy Club in Chicago. That show catapulted him to national fame, leading to appearances on TV, in magazines, and performing for integrated audiences, a rare sight at the time. Gregory passed away in late 2017, leaving behind a profound legacy that went far beyond comedy, shaping the conversation on race and social change for generations. Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks is often remembered not for loud speeches or fiery protests, but for her quiet strength and unwavering resolve. Born on February 4, 1913, in Tuskegee, Alabama, she grew up in the heart of the segregated South, where racism was a harsh reality woven into everyday life. Her most famous act of defiance came on December 1, 1955, when she boarded a bus in Montgomery, Alabama. Refusing to give up her seat to a white passenger, Parks ignited a spark that would set off a powerful wave of change. That simple yet profound act of resistance became a turning point in American history, fueling the civil rights movement. But Parks's courage wasn't born on that bus. Long before that moment, she was deeply involved in the fight for racial equality. As a secretary for the NAACP, she worked tirelessly behind the scenes, investigating cases of racial injustice and collaborating with other activists. She understood the risks involved, knowing that standing up against segregation could lead to personal hardship or even violence. Yet she was determined to take action, guided by a sense of moral duty. When Parks was arrested for her refusal to give up her seat, her bravery became the catalyst for the Montgomery bus boycott, a 381-day protest that eventually led the Supreme Court to rule that segregation on public buses was unconstitutional. But Parks didn't stop there. She continued her activism, dedicating her life to civil rights causes and working with leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. and John Conyers in Detroit to address social and economic justice. Her unwavering commitment to justice earned her the title Mother of the Civil Rights Movement, and she was honored with numerous awards, including the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Rosa Parks lived to be 92, passing away in 2005, leaving behind a legacy of quiet courage that helped transform a nation. Irving Louis Berge. Irving Berge was a musical genius whose contributions to the world of music continue to resonate even years after his passing. Born to a mother from Barbados, Berge was immersed in the rich sounds and rhythms of the Caribbean from an early age. These influences became a defining part of his musical style, blending Caribbean flavors with a broader range of genres. As a young man, Berge's journey took an unexpected turn when he enlisted in the United States Army during World War II. His service shaped his early years, but after the war, he turned his attention to his true passion, music. He pursued formal education in music, studying at the prestigious Juilliard School in New York. From there, he further honed his craft at the University of Arizona and UCLA. Berge's legacy was not just in his education or technical skill. It was in his creativity and ability to connect with listeners across the world. His songs captured the essence of the Caribbean, yet reached beyond those shores, leaving an indelible mark on the music world. But there was one discovery in his later years that would change the way the world perceived his work. What was this revelation that would reshape his legacy forever? The details of this revelation have become part of his lasting impact on the music industry. When he passed away in 2019 at the age of 95, Berge left behind not just a body of music, but a legacy of innovation and influence that continues to inspire musicians and fans alike. Berry Gordy. Berry Gordy, born on November 28, 1929, is 94 years old today and remains one of the most influential figures in music history. Best known as the founder of Motown Records, Gordy played a pivotal role in shaping the music industry and bridging cultural gaps through music. Growing up in Detroit, Gordy was raised in a family that emphasized the value of hard work and ambition. He dabbled in various jobs before his passion for music led him to pursue something extraordinary. In 1959, with just an $800 loan from his family, he founded Motown Records, driven by a vision to bring black music into the mainstream. His goal was simple but ambitious: to create music that resonated with everyone, regardless of race. Gordy's vision quickly turned into a success. He discovered and nurtured the careers of iconic artists like Diana Ross, Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, and the Jackson 5. Under his leadership, Motown became a powerhouse, producing hit after hit and crafting the signature Motown sound. This unique blend of rhythm, soul, and pop appealed to a broad audience, and Motown Records became synonymous with groundbreaking music that still influences artists today. Cicely Tyson. Cicely Tyson, born on December 19, 1924, was more than just an actress. She was a symbol of strength, dignity, and defiance. At a time when black women in Hollywood were often relegated to stereotypical roles, Tyson refused to take parts that didn't reflect the richness and complexity of black life. Her breakthrough came with her portrayal of Rebecca in Sounder, a performance that earned her an Oscar nomination and showcased a black woman's resilience and heart in a way that had rarely been seen before. Tyson continued to captivate audiences with performances in Roots, the autobiography of Miss Jane Pittman, and many others, bringing authenticity and grace to every role. But she was not only a remarkable actress, she was also a trailblazer. In 1974, she became the first black woman to win a Primetime Emmy Award for her role in the autobiography of Miss Jane Pittman. Through her work, she made a bold statement, transforming each role into an act of both protest and celebration, proving that black stories deserved to be told with dignity and depth. Her influence went beyond her own work, inspiring generations of young actresses who looked up to her as a role model. Cicely Tyson passed away on January 28, 2021, at the age of 96. Leaving behind a legacy of groundbreaking performances and a lasting impact on the world of film and television. Ernest J. Gaines. Ernest Gaines found his voice in the rural South, where dusty roads and humble shacks were the backdrop of his early life. Born on January 15, 1933, in Oscar, Louisiana, Gaines spent his childhood on a plantation where his ancestors had once been enslaved. His deep connection to the land and the people who had endured generations of struggle and perseverance shaped his identity. This environment became the foundation of his storytelling. Gaines's novels offered a rare and powerful perspective on black life in the South, bringing those untold stories to the wider world. In 1971, Gaines published The Autobiography of Miss Jane Pittman, a novel that spanned nearly a century of history through the eyes of a fictional woman who lived through it all. His characters weren't famous or wealthy. They were everyday people, each carrying the weight of history and the burdens of daily life. Gaines's simple yet profound storytelling resonated deeply with readers and critics alike. Another of his masterpieces, A Lesson Before Dying, tackled themes of dignity, humanity, and redemption, continuing his exploration of the black experience in America. More than just a writer, Gaines was a historian, preserving the memories of black families whose lives were shaped by hardship and resilience. Though he passed away on November 5, 2019, at the age of 92, his legacy endures, continuing to inspire new generations. Juanita Moore. Juanita Moore was a truly remarkable actress whose talent made a lasting impact in the film industry. Born on October 19, 1914, in Jackson, Mississippi, she later moved to Los Angeles, where her acting career would begin to flourish. Moore's journey started in the 1930s, as she appeared in a variety of films and stage productions. But it was her role in the 1959 classic Imitation of Life that brought her widespread recognition. In the film, she played a mother grappling with her identity and making sacrifices for her daughter, touching on powerful themes of race and family. Her performance was so impactful that it earned her an Academy Award nomination, making her one of the few black actresses to receive such an honor at the time. Throughout her career, Moore broke barriers and paved the way for future generations of black actresses. She lived a long and fulfilling life, passing away at the age of 99 in 2014, leaving behind a legacy of groundbreaking work in the industry. Marla Gibbs. Marla Gibbs is a true television legend. Best known for her iconic role as Florence Johnston on The Jeffersons, she celebrates her 93rd birthday this year, and her life has been as vibrant as the characters she brought to life on screen. Born and raised in Chicago during the Great Depression, Marla didn't start out in the spotlight. Before she became a beloved actress, she worked as a reservations agent for United Airlines. Her journey is a testament to the idea that success can come at any age. She was already 44 when she was cast as Florence on The Jeffersons. Marla's portrayal of Florence was a perfect blend of humor and sass. What was originally a small role turned into one of television's most memorable characters, earning her 5 Emmy nominations. Her success didn't stop there. Marla went on to star in 227, where she played Mary Jenkins, a character many viewed as a wiser, more mature version of Florence. The show ran for 5 successful seasons, cementing her place as a household name. Even in her 90s, Marla continues to make guest appearances on popular TV shows, proving that her talent and humor are timeless. Outside of acting, Marla is also a talented singer and owns a jazz club in Los Angeles, further showcasing her impressive versatility. Ossie Davis. Ossie Davis, born on December 18, 1917, would have celebrated his 106th birthday in 2023, leaving behind an incredible legacy as one of the most respected figures in American theater, film, and civil rights activism. From his iconic performances on screen and stage to his tireless advocacy for social justice, Davis was not just an actor. He was a trailblazer who used his platform to elevate Black voices and challenge societal norms. Born and raised in Cogdell, Georgia, Ossie Davis grew up in the segregated South, where he experienced firsthand the harsh realities of racial injustice. His passion for acting emerged early, and after graduating from high school, he moved to New York City to pursue his dreams. It was there that he began to find his voice, both as an actor and an activist. Davis quickly became involved with the New York-based Negro Ensemble Company. Ossie's breakthrough came in 1950 when he starred in the Broadway play Jeb, but his true rise to fame came with his portrayal of Jimmy in the 1963 film The Emperor Jones, a role that would solidify his status as a leading Black actor. He went on to deliver memorable performances in films like Porgy and Bess, 1959, Do the Right Thing, 1989, and Grumpy Old Men, 1993. But Davis's impact reached far beyond the screen. In the 1960s, he and his wife, actress Ruby Dee, became active voices in the civil rights movement, using their celebrity to bring attention to the issues of racial inequality. The couple worked alongside leaders such as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X, participating in rallies and protests and standing up for Black rights in the face of adversity. Throughout his career, Davis earned numerous accolades, including an NAACP Image Award, and was recognized for his contributions to both entertainment and activism. His influence extended to younger generations of actors and activists, who saw in him a model of how art and activism could intersect. Even in his later years, Davis remained a powerful voice, taking on roles that addressed issues of race, identity, and justice. Ossie Davis passed away on February 4, 2005, at the age of 87, but his legacy continues to inspire. Gloria Richardson. Gloria Richardson, born on May 6, 1922, is a pioneering figure in the history of civil rights activism. Although passed away on July 15, 2021, aged 99 years, she remains one of the most significant leaders of the 1960s civil rights movement, known for her unapologetic activism and role in leading the Cambridge movement in Maryland, which was a turning point in the fight for racial equality in America. Gloria grew up in Baltimore, where she was influenced by the stories of her parents, who both fought against racial injustice. She later moved to Cambridge, Maryland, where her activism truly took shape. In the early 1960s, when tensions between Black residents and white authorities in the city reached a boiling point, Gloria became a central figure in the Cambridge movement. The movement, which aimed to desegregate the town and fight for fair housing and employment, was characterized by its militancy and its refusal to accept the slow pace of change that had defined previous efforts. Richardson was a fierce leader who, unlike many of her contemporaries, was not afraid to confront violence with force. In 1963, she famously led a group of Black women in a direct action protest in the streets of Cambridge, unflinching in the face of armed police officers. Her courage and determination made her a target of the FBI, but she remained resolute in her mission for justice. She was a critical figure in breaking the narrative that Black women were passive in the struggle for civil rights. Her work in the 1960s did not go unnoticed. Gloria Richardson's leadership inspired countless activists, both women and men, to take bolder steps in their own communities. She was a key figure in the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, SNCC, and worked alongside major civil rights leaders such as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Stokely Carmichael, and James Foreman. Though she never sought fame or attention, Richardson's bold actions and unyielding commitment to change left an indelible mark on the civil rights movement. Herb Jeffries. Herb Jeffries, born on September 24, 1913, in Detroit, Michigan, lived a life that blended groundbreaking artistry with trailblazing achievements in a time when Black entertainers faced systemic challenges. Herb's career began in the early 1930s, when he moved to Chicago and became part of the vibrant jazz scene. A classically trained singer, he quickly became known for his smooth baritone voice and ability to perform a wide range of musical styles, including jazz, blues, and big band music. His rise to fame came when he joined the legendary Duke Ellington Orchestra, becoming the first Black man to perform with the famed ensemble and later recording with them. But Jeffries' influence didn't stop at music. He also broke significant racial barriers in Hollywood. In the 1940s, Herb became the first Black man to star in a series of Western films, playing the role of a heroic cowboy in a time when Black characters were typically relegated to background roles or negative stereotypes. His most famous films from this period include Harlem on the Prairie and The Bronze Buckaroo, where he portrayed leading men who were both strong and dignified. Jeffries' portrayal of a Black cowboy helped to shift the perception of Black actors in the genre and opened the door for more diverse portrayals in film. Throughout his career, Herb Jeffries refused to conform to the typical racial stereotypes that Hollywood attempted to impose. His versatility in both music and film made him a standout figure in both industries. A true Renaissance man, Jeffries also achieved success as a composer, band leader, and even as a nightclub performer. Herb's legacy extends far beyond his trailblazing roles in film and music. His work as an advocate for racial equality and his refusal to play into racist tropes left a lasting impact on both the entertainment world and American culture. Herb Jeffries passed away on May 25, 2014, at age 100, but his pioneering spirit continues to inspire and pave the way for future generations of Black artists in both film and music. As we reflect on the remarkable achievements of Black celebrities who have reached the incredible milestone of 90 to 100 years old, we celebrate not only their longevity but also their profound impact on culture and history. What other Black trailblazers do you think deserve recognition for their groundbreaking work? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like and subscribe for more inspiring stories about Black celebrities who continue to shape our world. Stay tuned for more updates on the incredible legacies of those who came before us.